Today on the Relationship Renovation podcast, we have a little gift for you, and it is what we think is the foundation of a happy, healthy relationship. So stay tuned.
We're all here on this earth to feel a sense of belonging.
The biggest prioritization of your relationship you can do is you doing your own work, your partner doing their work, and then including each other and doing the work on your relationship.
And I just looked at EJ, like biggest smile on my face. I'm like, this is all I need. Hello, all, and welcome to the Relationship Renovation podcast. I'm Tarah Kerwin.
And my name is EJ Kerwin. And we want to do just a kind of short and sweet episode today.
A little holiday gift of connection.
A gift. And it gets to, I think, like sort of the heart of what we're trying to do here and the impact we're trying to have on couples, right?
Yes. And if you're not watching this on the YouTube channel, I'm going to set up the scene. We've got our Starbucks holiday cups. We've got our Christmas tree candle.
Tara looks very Christmassy in her furry white sweater.
Yeah, I was really trying to get into the vibe.
Yeah, I look like I could go out and cut down a Christmas tree maybe.
So yeah, we were trying to think like what would feel really good. And we just know that sense of belonging, when we have that sense of belonging, that feels warm and fuzzy, and that's connection. And I know over the holidays, that's what we crave, right? That's like the feeling of it, the energy of it. It's just people connecting with people and hopefully like joyful spirit most of the time. Yeah. But when we work with couples or even times in our own relationship, you know, people don't feel like that sense of belonging with each other. They feel, you know, insecure, they feel anxious, they feel powerless. And so we wanted to just do something that's uplifting and just that reminder that we're all here on this earth to feel a sense of belonging.
Yeah. And really sort of like encapsulating what it is we're trying to do here, and in a really brief way, sort of how we conceptualize it and how we see, because, you know, gifts take work, right? They take the thought of who, the person that you're getting the gift for, and then you have to go out and get it, and then you wrap it, and it's
a thoughtful process.
It's a thoughtful process, and the gift of connection, which is hopefully what we're helping you all create out there in your relationship, is something, you know, that takes work. And so we wanted to start just first with, you know, a brief example from our relationship, because one thing we know is that you connect more deeply with your partner, and you regain that connection by sometimes going through some really difficult conversations and developing the ability to resolve conflict in a healthy way. And so we had a moment earlier this week.
We have many moments
as we've shared over the years. I sort of, is it all right if I jump in? Can I tell the story?
Thank you for asking. Yeah.
I said something that was triggering to Tara. Like it was one of the kids was going to bed, and it was about a technology thing, about like, do we don't let them do this or whatever, and it triggered Tara.
I'm with you now, because there are a couple things in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I'm there with you right now.
And like many times when one or the other person gets triggered, it opens up sort of a box, you know, it opens up more than just the one piece of content you're talking about, right?
That is what a trigger is. Yep.
And it opened up this real desire that we have, but that oftentimes Tara is more tuned into, of actually, ironically, connection within our family.
Right.
And it was difficult. You know, it was difficult. It didn't lead to the night being very fun or connected.
Right. No, like a lot of assumptions. Again, just a lot of
defensiveness on my part.
Suffering, right. But we were able to get through it and talk about what happened there, right? Which is kind of like the core of starting to shift into that deeper connection with your partner. But it's like I recognize for me, my own unique story, my childhood upbringing, the intense amount of trauma. Everything was disconnected. There was no sense of belonging anywhere. So like as an adult with 4 children and 4 animals, I just want to have that connection. And when it's not happening, I truly feel scared, like in my body. And I know that I'm safe, right? Because I've done my work. I've done my lots of work. I know I'm safe and that we're going to be okay. But connection for me is based on so many different things around attachment in my childhood. And your childhood was very different and I can't speak for it, but it is like significant for me.
Yeah. And so we got through it. We got through it because we understand that difficult conversations are really important. And that part of difficult conversations in relationship is Tarah being able to talk to me about her stuff and me being able to look at my own stuff and then us looking at our stuff. That's the process that we want you to embark on.
Because I'm just going to say, had that not happened and had we not had the skills to do that and the trust to trust each other that we can handle it, I would have sat there and judged you. Like, oh, connection isn't important to him. He's fine with like our kids being on screen, right? Whatever my story was. And it would not have been resolved. We would have felt disconnected. Then it would have come up again in another couple of days. And that is the pattern that you'll start seeing. So it's so important to do that individual work for the sake of the couple so that you can get through these difficult conversations. So now you can create that connection. Because now, the day after that, we all sat down together as a family. Maybe some of us were eating, some of us weren't. I don't know, different schedules.
No, we had like 2 nights in a row. We had like a nice like family dinner together.
And it was literally like, it wasn't a huge thing. It was like 20 minutes. And I just looked at EJ, like biggest smile on my face. I'm like, this is all I need. Just like 20 minutes of all of us being in the same room talking. Like it filled my bucket. I'm not asking for constant, right? That's impossible. Yeah. But we made that happen. And so now I have confidence that we're going to keep doing that. And that we're going to work together to make sure it happens because, it's important for both of us, but in very different ways.
And so our family felt connected. And then we even did it a second night in a row. And I feel like we're going into the weekend also like, and everybody still has all their stuff to do. And we're all going in opposite directions. But there's just this connection. And then honestly, most importantly, because we are the nucleus of the family, I think we feel really connected. And so, and that's at the heart of what we're trying to impart upon people and give them the tools to achieve these things is that we want to feel connected. People come into therapy, people get to places in their relationship where they just almost have no idea how to rebuild it. And it's a process. It's something like this piece of conflict or this moment of conflict that Tarah and I had the other night is something that we have struggled with for years, and in so many different ways around just like plain old how we communicate and each of our own abilities to be accountable and our willingness to repair.
Massive blended family stuff.
Massive like blended family stuff. But we've worked and it's been a process and it's been difficult. But man, it's work. It's working.
It's freeing. Like knowing that I understood what my trigger was and tracing it back to why it's so important to me and what happens when it's not. I feel like, oh, God, that's okay. Like it's about me now. And then when it can come from that vulnerable place, now you can support me in it. But if it was just me judging you, like, oh, you don't want what I want and it's not important to you and there's something wrong with you. I mean, that's when people leave relationships and then I don't have to look at my own stuff because of course it's your fault. So again, it does take work. It's continued work, but then it's like this, it's like a feeling of relief, respite, freedom. I'm not sure. I just know that sense of belonging, that gift of connection, when it's through good and bad times and we can accept all the imperfections, It's like truly the biggest gift of all.
Yeah. And for me, doing the work, coming around to that feeling of being connected again, like I don't carry the weight and the heaviness of those, because it was still difficult. Like,
Yeah.
there was still, we were terse towards one another. And, we didn't necessarily say like really mean things, but it wasn't a fun energy. And because we've done the work, and then because we had the gift of feeling connected afterwards, like there's just like, I'm not carrying that weight with me into the weekend, and I have this,
or today's podcast.
Or today's podcast. And then moving forward, like it's also like this massive confidence builder. And I was talking to a couple yesterday who I'm just starting with around like, we're just going to make like small victories. We're going to just do little things better.
Yeah.
Initially. But what it's going to do is it's going to slowly build the two of yours confidence that you can do things differently, that you can feel differently, that you can be connected when as you begin this process, you don't really believe that that's really possible.
So I feel like let's kind of end it with giving them a tool.
Well, yeah, let me do one more thing first,
Yeah,
because I think
absolutely.
This is
because I have an idea. This is very spontaneous. You don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Awesome. So I think that this is also an example, because as I was doing this outline, I wrote down doing your work equals prioritizing your relationship. And to me, and it nailed, like as soon as I said that, I was like, oh, that's important. Because I think every time we hear prioritizing our relationship, we think like, oh, I got to go on date nights. I got to like, we got to play
make time for
we
each
got to play
other.
the question game in the backyard, but I think like the biggest prioritization of your relationship you can do is you doing your own work, your partner doing their work, and then including each other and doing the work on your relationship. That is truly prioritizing your relationship. And then the things like date nights and the connections in the backyard and the emotional and physical intimacy, they need work, and you'll continue to have to put energy towards them, but it becomes much more of an effortless thing when you're doing your work. And that to me is like, that's prioritizing your relationship.
What a gift.
It's a gift.
A gift this holiday season. Well, so check out this tool. It's new.
Okay.
It's
do I get to use it?
What is it called? Spur of the moment?
Spur of the moment.
Thank you. And it probably is going to take less than a minute. So listeners out there would love this if you could do this with someone you love. If it's an intimate partner, great. If it's just a family member, a best friend. Here it goes. Ready?
Yep. I'm ready.
When we're connected, EJ, I feel worthy, I feel seen, and I feel loved. I know you have to do
wonderful.
it too.
When we're connected, I feel loved. I feel enough. I feel light and kind of unbeatable. Like I feel like I got this shit.
Sit down with your partner, call them on the phone. If it's long distance,
Give them a text.
Do a Zoom. But look in each other's eyes if you can, and just say, I feel this when we're connected. And just see what that does in your body. See if that softens anything in your heart, in your spirit. It's pretty cool. And that's the feeling that you want to remind yourself of often, especially around the holiday season. Some of us have more time off. Just that feeling of belonging can be everything. So thanks so much for listening.
Yeah. Happy holidays to everybody out there. The New Year's is coming. We're super excited about, we got some new things brewing here at Relationship Renovation.
So many cool things.
Yeah, that we're excited with, but I'm just excited, and I love the gift that you are in my life, Tarah.
I love the gift you are too.
All
right, everyone out there, happy holidays. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.